Good morning, and welcome to Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church. It's in-person and online worship. Whether today is your first time here or you've been coming for years, we're so glad that you are with us. My name is Rick Kimball, my pronouns are he and him, and I'm serving as this morning's worship associate. We are growing a community that transforms lives through the power of love. Our mission calls us to celebrate diversity, encourage spiritual growth, and promote social responsibility while we travel on and care for the earth. A special welcome to those at home who are joining us on Zoom today. If you're attending for the first time, please go to our website and fill out the welcome card so we can know more about you. I have two announcements. The first is that Reverend Tara will join Zoom folks for a virtual coffee hour after the service this morning. We hope you will stay online and say hello. The second comes from the Social Justice Committee. It is our tradition to share 1/3 of each Sunday's offering to a nonprofit organization chosen by members of the congregation. Do you have a nonprofit organization that you would like to nominate for the next church year? If so, there is a link to submit your nomination in the e-blast. Paper forms are also available on the Social Justice Bulletin Board in the foyer. Nominations will be collected through Sunday, March 30th. The Social Justice Committee will evaluate the nominees and make recommendations to the board for more information. See Jim Mason or Julie Harrison. And if you are attending the Common Read today, make your way down to rooms 7 and 9 after the service. Lunch will be served at 11:15. Now we invite you all to take this opportunity to silence your cell phones so that we may be fully present to one another. After the service, please grab a cup of coffee or tea in the kitchen window and stay for conversation in the sanctuary. Or head down to the end of the long hallway to join a group for the brown bag lunch. Those on Zoom may stay on and connect with one another. And now, let us center our hearts and minds with the ringing of the chimes.
Good morning. You made it out in this freezing weather. And we're going to talk about spring today, which is hilarious. It's a joy to see each of you this morning here in the sanctuary, and hello, Zoom folks, too. I'm Reverend Tara. I use the pronouns they, them, and theirs, and I am the minister of this congregation, Allen Avenue UU Church, or A2U2 for short. I am joined in leadership this morning by Dale, our director of music, and Emily, our director of religious education. Our worship celebration this morning is designed with all ages in mind, so there is no separate RE program today. If, however, at any point your child would prefer to play in the nursery, we do have nursery care available, and you can see an usher at the back of the sanctuary. That being said, it is truly a joy to be together with members and friends of all ages in the sanctuary together today. The wiggles and noises that the youngest among us bring are a joyful reminder of the life and vibrancy of this multi-generational community where all are welcome. A noisy church is. Amen. Today we join in spirit with other Unitarian Universalist churches and practitioners of earth-based spiritualities as we honor the pagan feast day of Imbolc, marking the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. Though we are in the midst of winter here in Maine, This day heralds the coming of spring, honors that lambs are being born, that the days are lengthening, and deep down in the dark depths, the earth is beginning to wake from its winter slumber. In this time of national chaos, of still short days and long nights, of deepening our connections with one another so we can sustain our complex lives, what is stirring in you? What creative processes are at work in your depths, perhaps beginning to ever so slowly make their way toward the light of day? Friends, come into this space where we will reflect together on creation, becoming, and our deepest connections with one another. Come and be welcome. You are joyfully called to worship.
As we light our sanctuary chalice this morning, those joining on Zoom are invited to light a chalice or a candle near you to connect us more deeply with one another. Speak of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life.
Air, fire, water, earth. East, air. In every breath we acknowledge the atmosphere wherein we live, the elixir of our existence. South, fire, thwarter of cold, light against the darkness, symbol of the burning human spirit. West, water, nurturer of life, sustainer of growth, basic to every living thing. North, earth, where every seedling takes root, the ground of our being, our home, and our point of outlook. These signify the larger unity of all life and the glory of creation, wherein our spirits are embraced.
Our opening hymn this morning is number 1067 in your teal hymnal or up on the screen, Mother Earth, Beloved Garden. Dale will play it through once, and you are invited to rise in spirit or body as we sing together.
When I lived in the foothills of the Ouachita Mountains in Arkansas, my house sat on the edge of a lake surrounded by trees. One night, long after my 3-year-old Lex had gone to bed, I saw one of my favorite creatures hanging out on my glass door, a Luna moth, a large, bright green moth that is active very late at night. She may have been drawn to the light of our windows against the dark of the forest, but I was drawn to her fairy-like beauty. I wanted little Lex to see her, so I decided to bring her inside until morning so she could meet this magnificent midnight moth. I put the Luna in a box with a clear plastic front. In the morning, I excitedly introduced Lex to the Luna. As the Luna crawled gently on my kid, I felt very blessed to have had this visitor. That evening, I picked up the box and noticed our Luna had left something. Little round packages, tiny Luna eggs. The eggs were stuck to the box, and I didn't want to hurt them by moving them. I wasn't sure what to do, so I checked out some books from the library and figured out how to care for the babies. Here's what it was like to raise Lunas. First of all, newly hatched Luna caterpillars are super tiny. You have to be very gentle. Your breath would be like a fierce wind to them. Your hands could crush them. They will teach you to be gentle and calm. Lunas eat the leaves of the trees they were born to. So feed them only from the tree their mother chose for them. In our case, we chose the closest tree to our house that had leaves we knew they would eat. They will encourage you to think about where food grows and eat local. Luna caterpillars eat a lot, almost constantly. As they grow up, feel free to read to them or tell them how beautiful they are. They will keep growing and growing every day. They will remind you that you are always changing. You changed 1,000 times before you were even born, and then you were born and have changed every day since. Lunas shed their skin several times as they grow. Each time they shed their skin is called an instar. They will encourage you to celebrate your instars and leave behind that which restricts you or no longer fits who you've become. Lunas explore their world. They will inspire you to be curious. Luna caterpillars eat so many delicious leaves that they grow bigger and stronger. A Luna caterpillar at this size is ready to transform into a Luna moth. First, they will curl leaves around them, using silk to create a sort of sleeping bag. Once snuggled into this cocoon, they will begin a transformation, a big change. They will become a pupa. Inside the cocoon, they look like this. Imagine these cocoons are outside. Since the Lunas are wrapped up in dried leaves and silk, they would almost disappear into the forest floor. Other creatures in the forest don't know about their transformation. They remind us that sometimes other people don't know what we're figuring out for ourselves. Hard things, important things, things we prepared our whole lives for. When a Luna moth is ready, they will emerge from their cocoon. Coming back into the world isn't easy, but they keep trying. They have wings now, but they aren't ready to fly. See how small their wings are? Now they will climb to a higher place so they can hang upside down to dry and inflate their wings. Now the Luna is ready to take flight. Their new moth bodies were created to find one another in the moonlight. they will use all their energy to fly to each other and create new Luna life. For the rest of the first day with wings, we spent more time with them. We even took one of the Lunas to church for the blessing of the animals. At night, when we released the Luna moths into the forest, I thought about how lucky we'd been to be with these beautiful beings on their journey. They reminded us to be gentle, calm, curious, to leave old skin behind when it no longer fits, to nourish our bodies and work on the hard, fun, and beautiful business of becoming.
Would you join me in the spirit of prayer? To the weaver of molecules, the spinner of stars, the impulse that gives birth to the universe, to the earth, to us. In the deepest, darkest night of my wintered soul, I wrap myself in the blanket of my sadness and grief, pain and suffering, doubts and concerns, fears and questions, and look out from my wondering eyes toward the light that dares to penetrate the layers of illusion that surround me. So obscured is my vision because of the trials and tribulations of this life that it is your fractal rays of possibility and hope that I seek to inspire me to emerge from this cocoon that holds me. Each luminescent ray of love and hope and possibility is that catalyst which I need to transform my thoughts and emotions into fuel for that inner fire, which will dispel the darkness of my night, which will help me to see more clearly the embers of love and hope and possibility that dwell within me. I long to be filled with renewed energy and strength, to thrust new life into these wings of my rebirth, the fragile fragments of my life, the ingredients in the alchemist's hand, creating a new energetic substance to course through my veins. This womb of my becoming has been one of struggle and transformation. I was never meant to remain in this confinement of darkness. I was created to dwell in the infinite light. To the weaver of molecules, the spinner of stars, the impulse that gives birth to the universe, to the earth, to me, us. In the deepest, darkest night of my wintered soul, I shall look through the window of my expectant eyes toward the source of my being, waiting as I do for your alchemist's hand to create within me the change that is necessary for the season of my rebirth. I was never meant to remain in this confinement of darkness. I was created to dwell in the infinite light. Spring will come again. This I know, and I will be ready for my emergence and unfolding, that I might soar ever higher into my own becoming, into the light of my own transcendence, reawakened, renewed, reborn. Amen.
Following is a responsive reading by John Seuss. Please, your part will appear on the screen in italics. To be of the earth is to know the darkness of being planted, the pain of growth into the light, the love of being food for someone, the decay of the seasons, and the miracle of birth.
Now is the time in our service when we engage in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts support the ministries of this congregation and our work in the broader community. Each week, 1/3 of our offering is given away to a local nonprofit organization doing work to advance our shared values in the world. This month's Share the Plate recipient, chosen by our youth group, is Maine Boys to Men, whose mission is to end all forms of male violence and self-harm, and to advance gender equity by supporting the development of self-aware, empathetic boys and men. Donations can be made now as the basket is passed through the donate button on our website, or if you are a member, on Breeze, remembering to make note that your gift is for Share the Plate. If you are visiting us for the first time this morning, please note that your presence is your gift to us. At this time, our offering will be collected and gratefully received.
process of creation takes place amidst the interdependent web of life which cannot be seen. So many of our connections are invisible, yet they are fundamental to our creation and becoming. So in this activity, we're going to make them visible. We'll toss a ball of yarn from person to person. The first person will hold on to the end of the yarn and say, I've created blank. You could say, I've created a garden, or a baby, or a song, or a stew. Anything will work. If you have also created that thing, raise your hand and the person will toss the ball to you, remembering to hold on to the end of the string. You will then say, I've created blank, the stew, whatever, and then you will use one hand to hold onto the string and the other to toss it to the next person who raises their hand because you will then say, I've created stew or whatever, and then what you have created, and I've created a garden. And then you will hold on to the string, toss the ball to the next person who raises their hand because they have also created the thing that you have created. So the idea is just to connect people who have created one thing with people who have created that same thing, and then they introduce a new thing, and then find the person that has also created that new thing. So we'll see how this goes.
I've created an email. A garden.
Oh. A
lesson plan.
Okay. I've created a reader. Three children. Many loaves of bread. Voicemail. A song. A great grandchild. Sculptures. Paintings. Clothing. Artists. New flooring. A house. Wow, and there's still hands. Many happy memories. Down here in the front, let's not forget to pay attention to these kids up here. A loving home. Drawings. We go. Paintings. Friends. Breakfast. Six grandchildren. And we still have a hand up. 2 hands up. What was it? Laundry. Coffee. Is the end?
We've created chaos.
And we have created the web of connection. Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Everyone who's holding a piece of the string, if you can stand up, let's see what that looks like. Ooh, good idea. Okay, now, kids, if you would like to, we need help gathering this giant web so that no one trips. So if you could all work together to gather our interdependent web. That's next.
In his book, Sacred Earth, Sacred Soul, John Philip Newell, a scholar of Celtic spirituality, reflects on creation and emergence. He writes, "The way life rises from the ground is the way new life can come forth from the human soul. Just as we expect spring energy to burst forth from the winter earth every year, so can we faithfully look to what is trying to come forth from the unknown depths of the soul. Where are the barren places within us today, within our lives as individuals, in the most important relationships of life, and in our societies and communities? There is new life in the belly. We may not know what it will look like, what form or color it might take. We may not know exactly how it's going to come forth or when, but as surely as we know that new life will emerge from the earth in the spring, we can know that new life is gestating in the soul. Newell asks, what is trying to emerge from the unseen belly of the universe to manifest among us in new ways at this moment in time? And I ask, what do you think might be trying to emerge in your own spirit, in your own life, in our life here together, in this community, on the land that we care for, in this country we call home? For from every barren place, all darkness, all chaos, the force of creation is at work. And as surely as we know that new life will emerge from the earth in the spring, we know that new life is gestating all around us. Many classic creation stories begin in chaos. The first chapter of the book of Genesis in the Torah reads, "When God created the heavens and the earth was complete chaos, and darkness covered the face of the deep." The Enuma Elish, an ancient Mesopotamian creation story, begins with the deity Marduk battling Tiamat, the goddess of primordial chaos. Marduk is victorious and builds the world from her, chaos's, pieces. What is trying to emerge from the unseen belly of the universe to manifest among us in new ways at this moment in time? The earth has much to teach us about chaos and creation as well. We think of the web of life beneath the soil, today above the soil too. So complex, intertwined, and in many ways mysterious to us. Root systems and mycelial fungi networks connect and sustain life amidst the humus from which the plant life we see emerges. Creation out of chaos, or at least just the chaos part, is easy to spot these days in the human world. And it can be pretty exhausting to try to look for what's emerging that is alive and hopeful. Depending on the day, really hard. These are moments we can return to the earth, the planet on, with, and through which we move and breathe and have our being. The earth provides respite, inspiration, and a guide. We can watch chaos and creation, experience it, and see it unfold in our own lives, feeling it emerge from our own spirits. Many of you were here back in September for our service on Refugia faith, after which we had an incredible gathering under the Dawn Redwood tree and opportunities to take a guided walk of the 6.5 acres of land that we here at A2U2 care for and steward. A small group of us have been working this church year on a project to create opportunities for this congregation to connect more deeply with this land around us. And we have gathered your feedback and hopes through a variety of different avenues. The vision is to create 3 stations of the earth here on the property, each an opportunity to connect with the land, to connect with ourselves, and take time for spiritual reflection on a particular theme. The theme of Station 1 is creation. And our own Mike Luce has been working on creating seating elements for these stations. And the first 2 are complete. They're up here. And if you're in the back and can't really see them, come take a look at the end of the service. Using fallen branches from our Dawn Redwood and other wood, inspiration from the powerful imagery of a flaming chalice, and more, this creation right here is the beginning of the first station of the earth. Where will it go? What will we do there? What will we think about while we're sitting on this bench? Will there be guided questions for reflection or an activity? Will it stay the same or will it move? This is where the invitation comes in. Next Sunday after worship, you are invited to gather in room 7 and 9 to begin to plan the first station of the earth. Conversation will be hosted by Barb Murray, Angie Dirks, and Patricia Ellen. And Mike can tell you a whole lot more about his creative process, which, let's be honest, definitely emerges out of chaos. There is new life in the belly. We may not know what it will look like, exactly what form or color it might take. We might not know exactly how it's going to come forth or when. But as surely as we know that new life will emerge from the earth in the spring, we can know that new life is gestating in the soul, in our communities, in our country, and in this world. Friends, even in the chaos, we are held up by a web of connections. And from these connections, we create, we become, and new life arises, even here in the belly of winter. May it always be so. Blessed be. Our closing hymn this morning is number 108 in your gray hymnal, My Life Flows On in Endless Song. Dale will play it through once, and then you're invited to stand or sing in spirit as we join our voices together. as we extinguish our chalice, and as Emily releases our circle of directions, we give thanks for the wisdom of the earth, for the creation in the belly of winter, emerging always from our connections with one another. And as you go from this place, may you remember that spring will return. And may you be ready for your own emergence and unfolding, that you might soar even higher into your own becoming, reawakened, renewed, reborn. Our worship has ended, and our service begins. Go in peace.